So in today's practice, we're going to be focusing a lot on the legs and inner legs. You may remember we have been focusing on those parts of the body recently because of their connection with the kidney and bladder systems based on traditional Chinese medicine. And this time of the year, as it is winter season, it's good to do or good to nourish, let's say, our kidneys and bladder meridian channels overall, because they really help us to ground ourselves. Bladder is kind of responsible from regulating the nervous system. Kidneys are the main energy storage space. And also in Western medicine perspective, you guys already know probably all the like stress hormones and so many things are being secreted by the kidneys. And so it's good to do something just specific to the kidneys especially. So as you are lying down here, we're just going to start by activating, in a sense, like pulsing and pumping all the energy activation in the body. So as you're lying down here, have your legs slightly bent, not fully bent, but just a little bit. And to begin, just squeeze your feet and legs, everything like squeeze, 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 and hold tight, including your belly, legs, everything, your toes, and then release. Now, same thing for the upper body. So with your inhalation, take in the breath and hold the breath even in and squeeze, make a fist with your hands, squeeze everything tight, including your face, squeeze, 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 and then exhale, release. And notice what happens. Invite a sense of openness, a sense of spaciousness as you are just relaxing. A lot of times we have these holdings and graspings that we are unaware of. So we're now intentionally squeezing, making things tight, and then just to let them release on their own. One more time. So inhaling and holding the breath in, but this time tightening everything in the body, lower body, upper body, your face, making a prune with your face. Hold the breath in, draw the belly in, and exhale. Bring one hand into the belly, one hand into the chest. Just allow yourself to connect with the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Feel a little bit more aware, resting the attention on the breath. We breathe constantly, but the attention is always somewhere else. So have this an opportunity for the mind to rest on the breath. And take a moment now, as we start to be more active, like circle your hands in your lower belly and then in the chest area. Inhaling and exhaling. Having a sense of this connection established with your own physical body. Letting the mind to become almost like an observer of like what is happening in the body. Breath becomes like a means integrating mind and the body. And now as we start to move a little bit more intentionally, extend your legs straight and take your arms also up overhead. Reach back up overhead and flex your toes so your toes are coming closer towards your shin bones, but really actively stretching the back of the legs. And then from here, interlace the hands. If the shoulders are sensitive, you can just leave them parallel to each other. But otherwise, if the hands are interlacing, you can bring your hands and your feet to the same side, so-called banana stretches. So your side body will look like a banana, almost like a C. And then inhale back to center. And then as you exhale, now take your hands and your feet on the same side, feeling the opposite side stretching here. Inhaling and exhaling, feeling the body stretching. And then slowly release. Now bend your knees, this time deeply or fully bent, let's say knees up towards the sky. And feel a little bit of a curve in your lower back. And then here, your hands are in your belly. inhale while you are feeling this a little bit of a curve in your lower back. And as you exhale, press your low back down to make it almost like flat. And exhale, push the air out. Inhale. Release again, feel the low back curve. And then exhale, straighten. We're doing very simple tilts with the pelvis. It looks very simple. It may look as if like we're not doing anything, but we're doing a lot actually. We are engaging both the front of the pelvis and the back, the joints around the pelvis, the pelvic bones, and then the hip joints. So just do that 2 more times. Inhaling, releasing. Exhaling, flattening the back, taking the belly, deep abdominal muscles in. Last time, inhale, release, and exhale. We're going to be staying quite a bit lying down or on the ground before we move up to do some standing postures. And we're now going to be moving a little bit more active versions of these moves and to really let things start to flow in the legs. So with your hands on either side of your leg, grab the back of your leg and feel your arms stretching. Inhale here. And as you exhale, draw the knee towards your chest. Inhale 1 more time. Exhale, draw the knee towards your chest. And if it feels good, you can also draw your knee towards your armpit area. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Maybe I'm trying this time to draw my knee towards my armpit. And then inhale. This time straighten your leg. You're still grabbing the back of your leg. And here you have some options. You can have your leg straight. We're going to be working with the, just like waking up the ankle and then the toes, any kind of circular or point and flex type of movement with the ankles. So your leg can be straight or straighter or maybe bent. Feel free to choose whichever feels right for you. And all through the class, actually, anything that I'm guiding doesn't feel right for your own body, please adjust, modify, and make it really comfortable and not painful for your body. If there's any pain, any pinching sensation, just back off. And slowly from here, we're going to be changing. Release now, just release your hands, but point your heel up towards the sky to feel a stretch at the back. If your leg was bent, just take a moment to stretch for a moment. And now bend it again, so everybody bends the knee. Now this time we're going to be doing something to wake up some of the very important energy points or acupuncture points from the traditional medicine perspective or qigong perspective. And those points, actually, a lot of the points are either elbow, wrist and fingers, or knee, ankle area, and then the toes. So we're going to be tapping some of those points to let the energy flow and also to let the energy drain so that we can have a better connection with the earth, with the sense of groundedness overall in our life. And these points are, don't worry about like being exactly on the right point or being very precise, but what we're going to be doing is like tapping, or you can also slap. You can also massage these points. Ideally, all of those points are supposed to be massaged maybe like 3 minutes or so, which we're not going to take that much time, but just to help the energy flow. And when we do tapping, we also actually bring blood. The energy increases, the sensations, tingling increases when we do that. And the blood also starts to circulate, which brings more oxygen and other nutrients to that area. So the points that we're tapping, it's about like 3 forefinger below the knee on the side. This is one of the points. And then the other point is just the inner knee, basically inner side of your kneecap. So you can make a fist with your hands, or maybe with 4 fingers, or maybe slap. So whichever feels right for you, and make it quite strong so that these points like wake up like, oops, maybe if there was any energy blockage or something. And sometimes these points may also feel very sensitive. Also, there are some like very important nerves passing through those areas. And sometimes you may also feel like electric sensation, especially when we do something at the back. We may touch on the or tap on the sciatica nerve, and then it may be like, oops, like a jolting electric sensation. So it's all okay. It's just because you are maybe tapping onto the nerve area. And now the back of the knee. And this is one of those points, like when I do massage or maybe do this tapping, I might feel this jolting sensation because there are some nerves passing through that area. And now going downward, we are now this time about like forefinger away from the ankle, inside and outside. These are good points for so many things you cannot imagine. So just doing this. And ideally, actually, this kind of a practice can be done either before you go to bed or when you wake up first thing in the morning. Now below the ankles, so we're really close to the base of the foot. I'm using just my fingers, and it's almost like hurting. It's quite a bit. And now with the sides or palms, sides of your foot. And then the front, the toes, and then even the base of the foot, because the main opening point, bubbling spring, is right under the foot. And then slowly, when you have like very close reach towards your foot, maybe grab your ankle or shin bone or somewhere and draw that foot close towards your armpit to have a good, nice kind of stretch and opening for the hip joint. And slowly release, extend the leg, and now extend the other leg as well. And then just take a moment to feel, almost like compare right side, left side. My experience, your experience may be very different, is the side that I have worked is almost like flowing, open. There's a sense of spaciousness, like there's no blockage or sense of kind of stagnation. And now moving to the other leg. So starting gently, just inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, drawing the knee towards the chest. Inhale and exhale. So be patient with this practice. We're going to be coming up and then doing quite strong or leg strengthening exercises as well. But we're slowly, gently opening the legs, almost like letting the energy to flow. And now, again, decide if you want to keep the leg straight or maybe bent, grabbing the back of the leg and activating the ankle and then the toes. Maybe you can squeeze and release or point and flex or side to side. These are really very basic looking, but so good to let the energy flow. And a lot of especially from the qigong perspectives, the same is in yoga too, but it's just like prevention is much easier and much less costly than trying to heal a disease, treating a disease. And now slowly draw the knee towards your chest and then tapping to the other side. Again, inner side of the knee and then a little bit below, a couple of fingers below the knee. Tapping, activating with your fists, maybe slapping, whichever feels right for you. I kind of do combination, depends. Sometimes I would do all of them. Sometimes I would do just one of them. And now the back of the knee. These are, in terms of like the energy flow, really good points to remember. And also they each kind of connect with important organs, not only kidneys and bladder, but from stomach to from like digestion and then overall energy levels and everything. Now moving downwards or closer towards the ankle, again, maybe about like 4 fingertip above. And including the actually like eyes. Would you believe like this point on the outside of the leg is helpful for the eyes? And now below the ankle, adjust your position, maybe move your foot really or knee towards the armpit. And now size of your foot, again, adjust maybe so this becomes like a half happy baby. And then the bottom of your foot, maybe with your fingertips. And then slowly from here, as we are going to be stopping, Just taking a moment to draw the knee towards your armpit. You can grab your foot fully or maybe just the shin and taking the leg towards the armpit. And then release. This time though, just bring your legs close towards each other and just circle. And now one more time, stretch your legs straight. Feel the sensations, maybe a sense of equalness compared to the first time when we checked the legs. And now while your legs are straight here, we're activating the core area, this transverse abdominis muscle, which goes parallel through between the hip bones. And hip bones are the bony parts here you would feel when you have your hands on this side. And place your hands, maybe hands open, fingers open. Small finger is almost like touching to your hip bone, and then the thumb is touching towards the ribs. So your hands are in between. And this is a very simple core exercise. You can do this anytime when you are watching TV or something and nobody would even know. And bring your feet parallel to each other. Toes are flexed, so your legs are active. And imagine now you're going to lift your right foot, and notice when you have this intention of like lifting your right foot, the area right under your right hand is going to get active. You're going to be almost like squeezing these deep core muscles. And then lift your foot, but you're lifting only 1 inch, not more than that, maybe 2, but that's it. And then notice what happened in this belly area. And exhale, release. Same thing for the left side, just tiny bit of lift. So first prepare that you're going to be lifting your core, lifting your leg, and then feel what's happening when you have this sense of like, okay, I'm going to lift, and then the core gets active. And then lift it just 1 inch up off the floor. And then release. Just take a moment to give yourself a break. And now prepare. We're going to be lifting both feet up only 1 inch. So you will need to squeeze your core, and you may notice your low back curve again is getting flat. It's okay. So just lift both of them. Feel your core muscles getting really active, almost like your hip bones are coming closer towards each other when you engage these core muscles. And then as you exhale, release, let go, bend the knees again. Just take a moment and drop your knees to one side as you exhale. Inhale back to center, and then the other side. Come back again in the center. One more round of real core engagement, including something happening in your lower back. It's getting a little bit flat, but have a sense of when we are really squeezing everything, we're almost like pumping the blood into our kidneys as well at the back. And then when we release, we're letting them also get kind of in a way flushed with fresh oxygenated blood. Now for this core exercise, we're going to be lifting the legs and using the hands. So making a fist with the hands, and then bring your hands in between your legs. Your lower legs are almost parallel to the ground. And here you will see when you hold your legs like that, your legs can also be straight as well. Your core, this area that we have worked just a little bit, is getting very active. This is the spinal stabilizer, transverse abdominis muscle. It's not the one at the top, the six pack that many people try to work, but this one is deeper. But it's so important to have that muscle strong for overall upright position for the body. So having these hands in fist position, and you can lift your head if you want, but when you lift the head, don't look towards your hands, but gaze up towards the sky. So don't allow any constraint in your neck, or your head is on the ground. And squeeze your knees towards your hands. Keep squeezing and breathing. This is going to be a lot of work for inner legs and also the core. Breathing and holding. Maybe your head is lifted, gazing up towards the ceiling. Hold and breathe. Inhale and exhale. And slowly release if the head was lifted, and just take a moment. Inhale and exhale. Allow maybe the breath to self-regulate. You may be feeling a lot of heat in your belly area, inner legs, which is all okay. And now, same thing again after this break. This time, hands on the sides. You're going to be pushing your hands towards each other, but the knees are also pushing up or out towards pressing this isometric move. Actually, that's what we are doing, towards your hands. So even though I'm not moving, there's a lot happening here. So really pushing your knees out towards your hands while the hands are pushing your knees. Again, lifting the head if you want to. You can go even higher and lift maybe the shoulders, and this time gaze towards the knees as you're actively pressing, 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 and breathing. This is very common in Pilates. I'm just going down. You can stay there. It's one of their fundamental moves, actually, to really activate the core. Simple, but very effective. And as you exhale, slowly release. Just take a moment again to breathe. Let the breath self-regulate. And now open the legs, again, knees bent out to the sides, and then drop them to one side and then to the other side. You can add your head also to that. So when the knees move towards your right, for example, you can turn towards the left. And then the opposite side. Knees move towards the left, head gently turns towards the right. Do that one more time for each side. Inhaling, exhaling. As you inhale, come back just to the center. Now draw the knees towards your chest, rock side to side. And from here, we're going to come up into a seated position slowly by spinal rocking. If for any reason, if you have any spine-related issues or injuries, you can just turn to the side and then come up. Otherwise, if spine feels okay, you can slowly start to rock a few times, coming to the front. Really waking up and letting the spine also join the party. And next time when you come up, stay here, but lift your heels or feet, toes up. Stay in this really engaged core position. If the strength is there, you can even release your hands and then slowly release. I'm just going to turn to the side. You can stay as the way you were staying. But now draw your feet closer towards each other. It can be a little bit in front as well, no problem. But find a sense of opening the inner legs as much as possible. And your hands are grabbing the sides of your foot, rocking side to side. And now almost like imagining you're opening your feet out to the side, almost like a book. And then massage the point that's right in between, like in the middle, right below the balls of these bones, in the middle, or close to the middle, but not in the middle of the foot, but in the middle of the balls of the feet. And massage, maybe use your tongue. This is also another point. Very good to get connected with the earth, but it may also feel very sensitive. When I press, for example, with my thumb, I'm feeling like, oops, almost like this jolting sensation, because there are a lot of, again, nerves and other stuff very close to the joints. And then the inner part of the foot is kind of easy to massage that area. And the line is what we are massaging is from this middle part coming towards the ankle and out. That's kind of diagonal massage. And then do 2 more times like that. And then slowly release and then change as we transition into tabletop position. Coming on the hands and knees. And as we come here, Just maybe a few things to kind of coordinate and connect everything, upper body, lower body. We're going to be doing this cat cow tilt. Inhale, gaze up, and then exhale, round. But have it in such a way that make it organically, moving your hips, your shoulders, and everything. And at the same time, you're doing something with the spine. You can also do like sides, maybe come down to the child. So make it really nice, organic, good, easy. And there's like not a specific way to make it your own move and kind of integration and coordination between the lower body and upper body. And as you come to the center this time, just stay for a moment in this neutral position. And then as you prepare to lift up, tuck the toes under. For your hand position, they are very widespread, or you can make also fist with your hands as well. And you can even use blocks. So I have yoga blocks here, or books, or maybe water bottles even. So have them handy here. And when you are ready, tuck the toes and then lift the knees. Just take a moment to feel, again, this core. Remember this transverse abdominis engagement. Squeeze almost your hip bones closer towards each other. And then slowly lift the knees and start to bend them one at a time, almost like pedaling your feet. Pushing the hips up. Feeling this big stretch now behind the leg. Slowly with your inhalation, gaze forward and then a step forward into a lunge. Here you can just maybe to begin, drop the knee down. Use the blocks if you have blocks. If you don't have the blocks, your hands are going to be on either side. I have blocks, so I'm going to be using the blocks. And block is kind of optional, but it's always handy. I think it really helps me to kind of extend, almost like have longer arms here. So inhaling here, stretching the front of the left leg. Exhaling, straightening back of the leg. Inhale one more time. Exhale, and this time stay here when you stretch the back of the leg. Hamstrings are stretching. If you are using blocks, you can take them a little bit back. Maybe move your foot if you like a little bit. And then you can turn your foot side to side if you want to, or up and down. Feel what's happening behind the leg. Having this connection with the hamstrings, saying hello. Hopefully they are happy today. And then coming into the lunge again one more time, bend the knee. Take the blocks to the front, but lift this time, coming up almost like kneeling position. And here, feeling the stretch in front of the leg, but at the same time, we're going to turn towards the side for a twist, lunge twist. And in this lunge also, you can take your hand outside. The other hand can go back and maybe do something with the wrist and then the fingers. As you're staying here, continue to draw your inner legs close towards each other, and then the pelvic floor, perineum is active. Inhaling and exhaling. And then slowly from here, turn yourself back to center, hands on either side of your foot or on the blocks. That's always an option. Lift the knee and then take your leg into downward facing dog. Take a moment here. You can always compare right side, left side. After we do only one side. Now step forward with the other foot and then drop the knee. Same thing, just a few rounds of flowing first. Exhaling. Inhale here when you are in the lunge, and then exhale. Inhale one more time. And as you exhale, stay here this time as you find the stretch behind the other leg this time. And notice when you are holding this, you can hold these much longer if you would like to. And if your hamstrings are very sensitive, please don't judge yourself, but have a sense of slowly finding a little bit of ease, a little bit of stretch. And while you are stretching the leg, Continue to have the spine also elongated, reaching, almost like reaching forward with your chin and chest. Gradually again, finding the lunge as we will slowly take this into a twist. Lifting a little bit higher and then taking the hand outside. And then the other hand is reaching and wrist is circling and anything kind of you can do with your fingers. And then slowly release the hands on either side and then tuck the toes for the right foot. Take your leg back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, just come down, taking a moment in the plank pose, feeling your like whole body strong, like all the pieces of the body are almost like helping each other to stay in this pose. Not only your hands, you're of course pressing your hands away, pushing almost like the ground away, but have your core active, have your heels active, have your like entire body is active to hold you here. And then slowly release the knees down. And then taking a moment in the cobra, just simple cobra, your hands, draw them close. Find the pubic bone area, that's the anchor. Your feet, front of your feet are on the ground, legs long. And from here, inhaling, lengthening, reaching up. Draw the shoulders away. Just it's a little bit of a lift, not too much. But engage this time the back of the middle part of the back body. And as you exhale, release, and then take yourself into child pose for a moment. Tuck the toes under, and then slowly lifting up into downward facing dog. Stay in downward facing dog, but keep your knees bent. Really keep them bent so that the spine is still very long. And slowly walk towards the front. And here, blocks again would be very handy, but if you don't have the blocks, don't worry about it. Your hands can also be on the ground as well. If you have blocks, have them in front. Your feet is hip-width apart. You can imagine this like 2 fist distance apart in between. And here, inhaling, lengthening, straighten the legs, bring the torso almost like parallel to the ground. Exhale, bend the knees again. And then parallel to the ground. We're working a little bit or more, let's say, with the back of the legs. Entire back body is stretching here, entire back line. Inhale, exhale. And now just adding into this. So next time when you inhale and lengthen, lift your heels up. And then exhale, bend everything, heels down, knees bent. One more time. Heels lift this time. Exhale, bend. And this time again, the same thing. Heels lift. You're lengthening everything. And now we're going to do one more thing. We will just change this. And this time, when you straighten the legs, it's not going to be easy, but do your best. Lift your toes up. And sometimes actually, like I've seen in some yoga therapy classes, you would put the blocks underneath and then stay like this. We're not going there, but you will see this is becoming like a huge stretch for the back body. And then release or bring the toes down, bend again the knees. And then next time when you lengthen, lift the toes, front of the toe, foot, and then release. Bend. This is going to be the last one. As you straighten the legs, lifting the toes up high, feeling the stretch. Your back is maybe shouting at you, so keep them slightly bent if you want, but do your best. And as you exhale, slowly release, and then slowly from here we're going to turn. Sorry, I'm turning. You don't need to turn. Open your arms out to the side. We're going to come up through Utkatasana. Chair pose. Slowly, as you inhale, reaching up high. As you exhale, bend the knees. Open a little bit wider. Inhale, just flowing a few times like that. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale down. And in the next one, we're going to come up high and stay here. Lift your arms. Maybe they're in a big V or maybe parallel or maybe parallel here in the middle. But lift the heels up. Inhale and exhale here. And slowly release the heels first. Feel the ease coming. A sense of, oh God, thank you. And then slowly bring your hands on from either side and one hand into the belly, one hand into the chest, and just hold them here. Become aware of your experience right now. Notice the sensations, notice any flows, notice any kind of sense of stuckness or blockages. But let everything almost like go downwards, have a sense of draining downwards towards the earth. Feel your active legs. As you exhale, slowly release. Or before you release, actually, you can just circle your hands. Have this sense of connection, have this sense of, oh, my dear. And then slowly release your hands. And now, if you are turning towards the front, turn yourself to the side, the long edge of the mat. Open your legs wide. We're going to be still continuing. I see my camera getting sometimes a bit blurry as I move, but the things stabilize a little bit. So open your feet a little bit out towards the side. I'm just going to move these about like 45-degree angled. Your feet are open out to the side. And we're going to be playing with the goddess pose. So same thing to begin with. Inhaling, arms open. Exhale, arms come into cactus position and knees bent. Inhale, reach up. Exhale. And last time, we're going to hold in the goddess pose. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend. And when we are holding here, your hands can be in this format or maybe in your hips or maybe open out to the side. So don't worry about it. We are focusing a lot actually on the legs. And for the leg position, for your pelvis, don't allow it to tilt back. So draw that in, contain that. And your glutes, outer glutes, are going to be very active to hold you here. You'll feel an opening. And the knees are almost like opening a little bit out to the side, as much as possible in the same direction with the toes. So adjust them to be in kind of in line with each other, aligned with each other. And then as you are holding here, if you want to take a break, straighten your legs or maybe go a little bit higher. But if things are feeling okay, lift your right heel and then feel what's happening. Maybe release and then hold and then release. And then just hold for a few moments and then release. Just your legs are still kind of half bent. Bring your hands maybe on your hips and then the left leg. Lift and bring down. Lift and release. Lift and release. The attention is almost like on the one side or the weight is kind of. And now this time open the hands and lift both heels up. Release. And then lift the heels and then release. Lift and hold, maybe 2 breaths. Feel any sense of like, maybe some shaking is happening there. Maybe not, you're feeling okay and wondering, oh my God, maybe how long are we going to be staying here? And then very slowly release the heels. Feel almost like partial ease. And then slowly, as you straighten the legs, take the arms up, interlace the hands on top of your head, come into a side bend. Again, shoulder sensitivities. Keep your arms open, but just find a side bend. And back to the center, and then the other side. Really knowing that all these, I'd like to call them as like positive stress, we intentionally put some stress on the physical body. They really help to pump things, really kind of sometimes let go. In qigong, we would do a lot of shaking, but this way of sometimes holding the pose and releasing or pulsing is also another way of pumping the energy, the blood, so that there's going to be more circulation in that area. Now, turn your feet parallel to each other. And then from here, again, just exploring something with the legs, but this time, maybe focusing a little bit more on the back of the legs. So from here, have your hands on your hips and inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, bring yourself parallel to the ground. Just stay here. We're not going to go down immediately. Maybe just move or wag your tail a little bit side to side. And now bring your hands to the front. And keeping your torso as much as possible parallel to the ground. Inhale here. Exhale, bring the hands back into almost like cactus, but you are facing towards the ground. I can just turn to the side maybe here. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bring the elbows closer towards the torso. Inhale, reach one more time. Exhale. You're lifting naturally a little bit higher when you reach with the hands, and it's okay. But keep your core engaged here, really holding as well as pressing the legs back. Do that one more time. Inhale, reach. And as you exhale, bring the elbows back and stay here. And then slowly reach back with the hands, interlace the hands at the back this time. And then drop the head down. And shake your head loose. Maybe your hands are still interlaced. Turn side to side. You can have a slight bend in your knees if you want to. And then come into just a mini side bend here. Open out to the side, circle the hands and wrists. And then bring the other hand inside and then turn. Again, just quick moves with the wrists and hands. Slowly release the hands, bring both of them in the middle. I'm just going to turn to the side. And now bring your shoulders to the ears to release any tension around the shoulder joints. Shake the head loose. Slowly heel toe your feet to bring them close. And then as you're pressing your feet firmly down, bend the knees, open the arms out to the side. And then slowly bring them maybe a little bit more like alongside the ears as you're staying in the Utkatasana chair pose. And then slowly reach up high with the hands. This time grab the wrist here. As you exhale, come into a side stretch. Inhale back. And then the other side. Inhale brings you back to center. And then just taking a moment, this time hands meet in front, about the chest area. Taking a moment again, noticing what has changed, noticing any sensations, noticing any thought patterns, as much as possible allowing the attention to be in the body. And have a sense of real connection maybe with the earth, feeling the bottoms of your feet. Having the sense of these points, the bubbling spring points right under your feet, getting connected with the earth. Inhaling and exhaling. Slowly release your hands down. If your eyes were closed, just open them nice and wide. Coming to the front edge this time. And we're going to do one more thing to support the kidneys and open, again, the main energy stores, let's say, of the body. So starting with the knees bent, the knee is bent as you're lifting. Maybe circle again the ankles. When you are ready, lift the hands up. And then slowly, as you exhale, bring the hands onto your hips and step back, coming into a lunge here. And then in this lunge position, bring your hands. Your foot can also be on the ground as well, or high lunge when you have the heel lifted. So it's up to you. And have your feet in parallel tracks. So maybe gaze and make sure that you have space between your feet. Again, this 2 fist distance at least. So when your feet are in parallel tracks, it's going to be easier and more stable to hold the position. Now with your hands, massage this kidney area, the low back. One of the main, really like the places where we hold these both prenatal energy, the essence that we kind of acquire from our parents, and also the other energy, which is called like postnatal energy, that we extract from the food we eat or the other things that we kind of have in our life. They're supposed to be stored in this part of the body. The area is in between the kidneys, so we're just massaging. You can also tap this area, loose fist with the hands, or slap as you wish. Again, just like activating, circulating, letting things to circulate so that they don't get stuck or stagnated. And then slowly just reach up with the hands here. And then as you exhale, release, bring the hands on either side of your foot. Step back into downward facing dog. Feeling your legs, stretching, hips reaching back. And when you are ready, slowly stepping forward with the right foot or left foot, doesn't matter actually, and then with the other one too. And stay here for a moment. Inhale, lengthen, just usual Uttanasana. Exhale, bend, slight bend in the knees. Inhale, lengthen. And with your next inhalation, lifting yourself with a big circle with the arms. As you exhale, release. Just take a moment again before we do the other side. Same thing, starting with the leg lift. So when you are ready, lifting the other leg this time. As you find the balance, in a way, feel what changes maybe when you come into one-legged stance. Sometimes there will be the balance challenge, like it happens to me sometimes. I mean, it happens to all of us, so find this. And then inhaling, reaching up with the hand. As you exhale, hands onto the hips and the foot, leg steps back. Adjust the position so things are in parallel tracks, railroad tracks, and then massage your Mingmen area and then the kidneys. Really letting these energies, it's almost like our baseline, maybe, where things are stored. So we're waking up, we're touching base with that area to help it get nourished, because this time of the year, things go really deep. It's kind of hard to sometimes get in touch with our own essence. As it happens in nature, everything kind of gets inside, goes deeper, and just takes its time. Although we still have very active lives, but things will slowly change. In like 2 weeks' time, the season is changing and things are going to be different. But this is really hard, cold, deep winter times of the year. Just massaging here. And then as you release, reach up with the hands one more time. And as you exhale, bring the hands on either side of your foot. And take the leg back into downward facing dog. Just stay here for a moment. Keep the knees bent as you wish. And then slowly slide yourself all the way down. I'm not going to go all the way down, but you come all the way down here. And then as you are here, open your arms out in a big V again towards the front of the body. And keep your legs also maybe in an open position. So it's going to be almost like an X shape with your hands and your legs. And then here, as you inhale, open or lift your hands up. And then as you exhale, bring the elbows back towards the torso. Inhale, lift. And as you exhale, bring the elbows back. And you can come down in between. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back. So drawing the elbows in this cactus position backward. Inhale, reach one more time. And as you exhale, this time just stay here. So the shoulders are lifted a little bit. And then if you want, maybe this time towards the end, reach back with the hands, interlace the fingers, lift the chest a little bit higher, feel your strong back body. And as you exhale, slowly release. Let go of everything. And allow yourself to get connected with the breath again. Breath and all the energies moving, flowing in the body. Become aware of them. And make the breath big as you're feeling your rib cage. The breath maybe fully. And very slowly, you can turn your head actually to the other side before we lift up. So one side and then the other side. Taking a moment again to things to self-regulate. And then gradually bring the hands just next to your chest and then lift, roll yourself up into a child pose. And in the child pose, maybe take a moment to rock side to side. You can, with your hands, either reach forward, make it active, nice stretch, or maybe take the hands back. Sometimes that may also feel really good and nice for the shoulder area to open. Your head is maybe on the ground. And slowly, when you are ready, lift yourself up, coming up into a seated position. I'm just going to again turn this way so that you can see. And then gradually, when you come here, straighten one leg and then bring the other foot inside, coming into Janu Shirshasana. You can always use a blanket under your hips to help the pelvis to tilt a little bit towards the front so that this forward fold can become more easeful. And you can also use a strap to as you come into a forward fold here, and then have your leg really stretching as much as possible, and then start to reach. You're turning the torso a little bit towards your foot, and then reach towards your foot, ankle. You can cross your hands here, your wrists if you like, or maybe you can grab the sides of your foot, whichever feels right. There's like no specific way. But the idea here is when we are stretching this leg, it's the back side, and this one is the inner side. And on top of that, the pelvis is tilted a little bit towards the front. So the spine is also lengthening. So still space between the tailbone and the top of the head. And you're reaching forward with the chest, not like dropping the head immediately, but reaching forward almost like chin and chest. Inhaling and exhaling. With your next inhalation, lifting it up a little bit and then turning this into a twist. Taking the foot outside of the knee or leg. It can also be inside as well. Check in however feels comfortable. And this foot, this leg, extended leg can also bend. Whichever option you choose is fine. But whichever option you choose, just make sure that the sitting bones, these bony parts underneath, both of them are on the ground. So that will allow the pelvis to be level. So not like one side up, one side down. That tends to happen a lot. It feels good as a stretch, but in the long run, this kind of non-aligned position for the pelvis is not that healthy. So just have both of the sit bones on the ground, draw the knee towards your chest, and then from there, as you draw the knee towards the opposite side in your chest with your wrist or maybe elbow, or maybe your elbow is outside, take the other hand on your back. And in this position also, keep the spine still elongated. Sit bones are pressing down. So knee and chest are coming close towards each other. And you can gaze towards your back, squeezing now the intestines. Feel a little bit of a stretch, definitely happening on your side, low back, kidney area as well. Inhale and exhale. Slowly release, turn yourself back to center. And now take both hands to the opposite side just for a moment. And then release. Now for the other side. Straighten the leg, feel your active stretch happening as you are pressing the heel away from you. Adjust if you are using any blanket or towel or something on your low back. So it's very close to, or almost like next to the sit bones underneath. So it's helping me to turn towards the front. As you draw the inside of your thigh and your foot are kind of pressing. So this leg is stretching as well as this one is gently stretching. It's not a big stretch. And then turning the torso just a little bit. And then here, reaching towards the front. And wherever you can kind of get hold of is fine. But have a sense of really good stretch for the back of the leg. And then the spine is lengthening. And breathing deep and nice. Towards the end of this kind of a stretch, actually, you can drop the head down. But to begin with, have a sense of lengthening first, and then you can let the head go after you kind of find the stretch. And slowly, when you are ready, lift yourself up and prepare for the twist. Again, you decide where you would like to position the foot. And then here, sometimes we may need to move, flesh a little bit in our belly, almost like draw it out to the side so that this twist, this ringing sensation is happening in a nice way. And the hand position, you decide wrist or elbow maybe. And also one side may feel different from the other. Taking the hand on your back as you're turning towards the side. Continue to push that extended leg in an active kind of stretching way. Feeling the intestines getting squeezed. And here, every inhalation is an opportunity still to lengthen a little bit. And an exhalation, turning maybe just 1 millimeter a little bit more. One more nice full breath here. And with your next inhalation, turning yourself back to center and then out to the side, just to counter twist everything. And then slowly release. This time both legs are extending to the front. And then here, you can even like play one leg and then the other one. And then again, supporting the back, the sit bone area. Maybe move the flesh a little bit. So that when you come into this rotation, the pelvis is going to be tilting a little bit towards the front and then slowly starting to reach forward. Using any yoga belt or strap or any kind of other belt you can have actually on your hands to reach forward. Now feeling entire back line, everything from the back of the legs, back of the torso. First, again, taking a moment to find the length in the spine. And wherever your hands are touching is fine. Maybe just even on your thighs, that's perfect. After you find the strength in your length in your spine also, you can slowly drop the head down. And feel the breath. And feel a sense of this kind of inner connection. It naturally turns you inward. So become aware of really what's happening inside. Instead of going outward, we tend to have attention a lot of times too much outside, but have a sense of turning in. Have a sense of like, at the same time, connection with the kidneys also. When you have the breath, and the head is almost like down, imagine you are sending the oxygen towards the kidney area in your lower back. Inhaling and exhaling. And very slowly from here, when you are ready, lift the head up, bring yourself into more like a flat position, again, lifting up. And then from here, we're going to go down. So when you are ready, you can bend your knees a little bit and then slowly coming all the way down. And when you come down, draw your knees towards your chest, rock side to side, and start to make circles with the knees. And have these circling, very simple movement be almost like a sense of real connection with the body. And make sure that this feels good. This feels kind of delightful for your own body. And your lower back, the kidney area, feels good about all this thing. So we're just circling the knees, hands are on the kneecaps. Both knees are moving the same side. You can change the direction, reverse the circle. You can also have your knees opening out to the side as well if that feels good. But otherwise, knees are together. Having a sense of gentle, almost like massage for your entire low back and then entire back almost. And now, when you are ready, release this and open your knees bent, open your feet almost like mat width apart, and reach up with your elbows towards the ceiling. And then here, inhale. And as you exhale, drop your knees to one side, elbows to the opposite side, and you're gazing towards your knees. So head and knees are turning towards the same side. Inhale back, exhale, turning. So knees to the other side, head is on the same side, but elbows on the opposite side. Inhale back to center, exhale to the other side. One more time. And then in the next one, we're just going to hold here. Back to center. So this time when your knees come almost like to the first side, now release your hands also and have it again comfortable. So your arms may go maybe up overhead to the side, or maybe they want to stay in the middle. That's okay. So you just have a sense of arms and knees in opposite directions, but arms are open. Inhaling and exhaling. And back to the center. Release the knees to the opposite side. Arms again gently, maybe sliding up overhead in the opposite direction. Feel your connection with the breath and then the body. Inhale, bring everything back to the center. And now as an option, you can do here this butterfly pose where the soles of the feet will touch and hands interlace. And then the elbows are opening out to the side. Or if you have any other pose that your body would like to do right now before we go to final relaxation, shavasana, just take a moment to check in with yourself. Either stay here for a few breaths, feel the stretch this time in inner legs and arms and maybe torso. You can even like rock side to side, or any other thing that your body would like to do. It may be happy baby, again, maybe rocking side to side, or a bridge, or even an inversion where you may take your legs up towards the ceiling as well. So just taking your time to do, maybe for another minute or so, I will slowly come up. Finding a way to just feel the practice getting into a completion. Really taking the time, almost like whatever is needed for your own body to feel a sense of completeness. And gradually, as we are slowly transitioning into shavasana, coming into a still position, in the middle of the mat, and feel the spine almost like as you find this position in the middle of really everything, and allow your hands to open out to the sides. Your feet opening out to the side. Everything is relaxed. You can have a slight bend in your knees if you want to. But as much as possible, have the limbs, arms, and legs equidistant from the center. You can turn your head gently side to side. And allow yourself, as you bring the head to the center, to feel a sense of complete non-doing state. You can call it maybe relaxation, or maybe just inviting a sense of softness to entire body. Feeling especially the back parts of the body completely relaxing, heavy, letting go towards the earth. Front part of the body wide open, spacious. And in between this kind of energy, the field of aliveness is very active, probably with sensations. There can even be like thoughts and other things. It's fine. And now just taking a moment to connect with this earth energy and having a sense of connection, feeling the bottoms of your feet and all the back body. Just for a few breaths, imagine you are getting connected with the earth like a tree, growing its roots, going down, 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 and getting the nutrients, the support, strength, energy, whatever you would like to have more in your life, courage, or maybe relaxation and letting things be. It can also be just inviting a softness as well. So whatever you would like to have, almost like gathering this from the Mother Earth through your feet and inviting it go through all the back body, and then from the top of the head flowing through the midline of the body, exhaling. So inviting the quality that you would like to have more of in your life, and then exhaling, releasing from the front. One more time, this almost like intentional gathering, collecting from the Mother Earth. And then exhaling, releasing from the front. And then now there's almost like nothing to do in this moment. Just inviting maybe if the mental, emotional activities are already starting, just to kind of have them also something to do. Using almost like a mantra, you can just repeat in your mind, I am held and supported. I let go. And it may even be like with the inhalation, I am held and supported. Exhalation, I let go, I let be. You can repeat this one more time and then release and let go of everything. Allowing yourself to feel your home body, your home base. Feeling, sensing almost the flow of sensations, energy, tingling, anything, this aliveness, curious, mysterious, but really a felt sense of aliveness, feeling it in your whole body. As the physical body is relaxing completely, inviting some stillness or maybe reduction in the volume of maybe some conversation that may still be happening in your head. Very slowly starting to feel your breath again. Inviting the breath to be bigger, deeper, more active. When you are ready, you can start to move your hands, fingers, wrists, maybe circling toes and ankles, again moving. And when you feel ready, you can also bring your arms up overhead, come into a full body stretch. Feel yourself 1 inch longer. As you exhale, bring the hands, make a circle around the back of the legs, grab the thighs towards your chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Really feel this sense of fully being embraced, kind of hugged by your own being. Having a sense of like, everything being part of you, accepted, acknowledged, recognized, welcomed. And gradually you can turn towards your left side in fetal position. Take a few moments, maybe making a cushion with your arm if you like. And as you're resting there, taking a few moments, find at least one thing that you are grateful for today. Doesn't have to be big, anything small would count. Just find or catch a glimpse or maybe a sense of maybe gratitude, a sense of appreciation of something that you already have in your life. And then slowly let this sense of appreciation and gratitude slowly spread almost through your body. Maybe even bringing a smile, a gentle smile to your face. And gradually, when you are ready, you can press your hand down to lift yourself up, coming into an upright position, a seated position. You can sit kneeling down or on a block or on a bolster, cushion, whatever that you can kind of just stay in an upright position. Your eyes can continue to be closed. And when you are ready, you can slowly bring your hands in front of the heart as the palms touch each other, just taking a moment to recognize, really acknowledge the effects of your practice, this time that you have dedicated to yourself, to your own being, for your own wellness, for your own good care. And when you are ready, you can bring chin to the chest to bow to the light within. Namaste, everyone. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being part of this wellness, integrative wellness idea of really working deep to have this sense of connection with the earth, this sense of groundedness, which we all need these days. Thank you.